What's going on, Boulder? We got to talk about the Prime effect and how Coach Prime has been impactful, not only on the field, but off the field there in Colorado. Problem is that this Prime effect also leads to a lot of media that probably should not actually happen. But it's happening because Prime generates clicks. So it appears that there's some recruiting violations that Colorado has been hit with. This particular number is 5 to be exact. We're going to dive into that, as well as Coach Prime's financial impact on the Colorado community. So we're going to jump into both of those. And I'm going to explain also, stick around, why this USA Today article doesn't make much sense. Like why it's generated for clicks. So let's dive into that here on the Prime Time for College Football. This video is powered by our partners at BetUS. Check them out. They're hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. So the Prime effect is real. We all know this. We know that when you talk about Coach Prime, heck, we got a channel here, and it leads to generating all kinds of clicks. Well, we're in a situation where there's an article that dropped out by USA Today, a couple of them actually, where you're seeing the good side of the Prime effect and also the bad side. But I want to talk about first is that financial impact that Prime has had going into. Shout out to Buffalo Wires over there at USA Today. Dropped the article. The Colorado Athletic Department released its financial report for July 23 to June of 24, which is Coach Prime's first season there. And they saw a massive increase. After 5 of the previous 6 fiscal years showing a deficit, Colorado showed an $8 million quote-unquote profit that was populated. The school saw $31.2 million in ticket sales based upon reports from USA Today's Brent Schrotenberg. And yeah, every game in 23 was declared a sellout. I bet you 24 was even more of an increase. But this is what the article has stated in there, that in a statement from University of Colorado, institutional support was provided to help offset shortfallings in conference distributions, as well as costs related to legal settlements caused by conference realignment. Colorado spokesperson Steve Hurlburt told USA Today. This support consists predominantly on auxiliary reserves and does not include any tuition or state funds. So, Prime coming in, they saw a massive increase in sales. School record, $31.9 million allocated funds from the university, $27.1 for direct institutional support. The school basically saw a whole increase in sales because Prime is there. And we know that that was the case. Coach Prime has brought everybody in. He generates clicks. He brings in players. He's got the celebrities in town. Everything you're looking for Colorado, Coach Prime has done a great job of being a steward to the institution. So those numbers are huge. Articles in link description below. You can check it out from USA Today. Let's talk about these violations, though. But first, shout out to our partners over there at BetUS. They're hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit, $2,000. 125% bonus on your second and thirds by using promo code YouTube150. And we talked about Kaden Salter last video and how he is now on the list for the Heisman Trophy. So another buff is being considered in there. And his odds aren't bad at plus 2,500. Pretty solid odds for him, especially coming in as a first-year quarterback. Now, we know he put up the numbers before. But hey, what's cool is Colorado's going to have another opportunity there. And if you want to get on the action, check out BetUS. 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% on your second and third, by using promo code YouTube150 up to $2,000. Check them out, BetUS, where the game begins. So Prime is back in the news. USA Today dropped another article, as we can see. It went from one article talking about the financial impact, which was a few days ago, about a week ago, and then now article today, earlier today, Colorado gets dinged by the NCAA for minor NCAA violations in 2024. Did say minor, yes. And I'm going to explain to you what that means and why it's kind of silly. We'll shout out to Adam over there at 247 Buck Stampede. He kind of chimed in on this, but What the violations come from Coach Prime mentioning Julian Lewis before he actually signed with the school. And there's a few times where that happened. And so it happened in November on one of the live streams on the school's site. Now that video has been pulled off of YouTube. So the violation kind of, it makes it minor. And it was because Coach Prime mentioned how he would recruit Mark Johnson, asked him on the show about how he would recruit. How he recruited Julian Lewis and everything. And he said, well, how he recruited and got this big win. He didn't say name or anything. He didn't say Julian or Juju or anything, but Prime did. He mentioned get Juju on the line, talk to his pops on the phone so he could sit down and chop it up. And he mentioned all of that, but that is a violation. Now, some of you may be asking, Jay, if it's a minor one, like, doesn't make any sense. How is that a violation? Well, the NCAA instituted that because they want to eliminate the need for schools to feel like they have to hype up all of their recruits, that you don't talk about them until their name, they sign on the line, which is dotted. So until they actually sign with the school, they don't want you talking about them. And that's really just to protect the coaches. It eliminates, like I said, any type of conflict of interest or the need for them to continuously hype up kids and players until they get on the field. Now Prime can talk about him because he signed. Juju doesn't see any type of, suspension or any type of punishment because he didn't do anything wrong. And neither did Prime. He gets like a minor slap saying, hey, don't do that. The school responded. But the big thing about this, and this is the thing that annoys me about the article coming out, is every school reports their minor infractions and stuff like this. All of them do that. It's all self-reported. And they do that to, make sure to show transparency to the NCAA. This isn't the only one. And so, like I said, Adam over there at Buff Stampede, he posted this tweet saying a reminder that pretty much every FBS program has to report minor recruiting violations every year. We'd prefer to see a report on every P4 program, but instead of the focus being on the CU Buffs simply because it drives clicks. And he's right. That's the reason why you see this report is because we see violations. Everybody gonna click on it. I clicked on the article. I'm like, wait, Colorado get hit with violations, what they get hit with. And you go in there, he's like, oh, it's minor violations. Like it's nothing that's that big of a deal. But I know a lot of you may have clicked on the article. Some of you that haven't, now you know why that article exists. And yeah, it's kind of bothersome that they're the one that's getting pointed out for it. Ohio State's probably sent some in, Oklahoma, Florida State, Kansas, Arizona State. All of them have probably submitted that because they all do that. Every school submits, because I've seen it numerous times where a school will self-impose for for minor recruiting violations, like an impermissible call at a point that they didn't realize that the rule had just recently changed, little things like that. So it's nothing major, not going to change anything, in my personal opinion. Those videos were pulled off of the Colorado Buffs YouTube channel, so they're not able to be, see the light of day anymore. And the school put out a statement that said that we take all infractions seriously, regardless of severity. In these specific cases, these minor infractions were all self-reported to the NCAA. So they did it themselves. This demonstrates the effectiveness of our established compliance systems, which are based on our department's positive partnership with the NCAA. They just reported it themselves. And that's what you're supposed to do. So if you see that and you see it populate, don't trip. It ain't that big of a deal. It's fine. But I wanted to talk about it as, it's probably, like I said, floating around. It's something that needs to be mentioned or whatnot. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. All right. We will chop it up with y'all in a few days. We're going to talk. There's visit weekends coming up with a lot of the schools. You're starting to see offers go out. We'll talk about some recruits and stuff. But the Buffs are starting to make some moves. And time to go pick back up on the recruiting side in preparation for the 2025 season. Shout out to BetUS, hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on the first deposit of $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. And we'll chop it up with all y'all in a couple days.